Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Rise Above TV, where we are empowering humanity and supporting unity. You're watching P3, the place where I feature people who have tapped in to their power, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Janie Terrazas, and I'm super blessed to have really, I feel like she represents grace, and funny enough, her name is Gina Grace. So Gina Grace is with us today, and she is going to tell us all about what those P's mean to her, but more importantly, she's going to share her message about her brand, F.L.Y. First, love yourself.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. First of all, I want to just say thank you for the opportunity. Like I said, I don't do this often. This is honestly one of my first interviews talking about my evolution of where I've come from. But I know this is a blessing to start off, because in order to gain that strength in your voice, you have to exercise it. And right now, this is an exercise for what's to come.
Yeah.
As you can hear, I actually lost my voice because I've been exercising that power so much. It's like God doesn't want me to silence it, because he knows there's strength not only in my voice but in my story. And it's like I just want to pour into the people, because we don't realize how important our story is as individuals. We all go through pain, we all go through struggle, but through it all brings our strength. And I realize there's so many people holding back their story, and that's why they're so in pain, because they don't realize, as people, as disciples of fisher of men, we're supposed to share our mess into a message, our test into a testimony for the people. And that's what brings our healing. Because like I was speaking on the other day, what the world is doing is suppressing. They're taking drugs, they're drinking alcohol, and they're even medicating themselves. Because why? Because the world says we're depressed, we're sad, there's no hope. But in actuality, God is instilled in us for that hope. And like you were saying, we have our wings, which, like you said, the F.L.Y acronym, first love yourself, is to strengthen that through the pain and the struggle, to gain our wings to get to heaven at the end of the day. And through that, when I met you, it was in the nightlife. I went by Gina Shots, for those who don't know me. And I was someone that I was never comfortable being, but in reality, I didn't realize it in the moment. When we're living in the moment, we don't realize our pain and suffering until it's one-on-one, when we're at home looking at the mirror and no one's around us. And it's like, man, I'm really not happy. So when I was working in the nightlife, I had the fame, I had the name, Gina Shots. If I went to any club, humbly, I'd walk in and everybody, oh my gosh, Gina, picture. And me, I have a spirit, like my spirit just I want to just flow through. I don't really, when I get the almost, I say, paparazzi feel, like I'll do it because I love the people, but I don't feel glorified in that. Like that's not what I want to do. And people saw that on me, and that's why people gravitated more and respected to me, because some people, when they get the name and the fame, their head and their head gets big, their spirit gets dwelled, but their being thinks like, oh, this is what the world is set out to be, and I'm that person. No, I was that person. I had the name, I had the fame, I even had the finances. I would make thousands of dollars in the industry, but guess what? Money truly doesn't buy you happiness. It doesn't. You can have all the money in the world and go home and still deal with childhood trauma you went through. And that's where the healing comes from. And so it got to a point where I honestly wasn't a believer. I flowed through life thinking it was all me. I did this, and and nobody could stop me, until I got to the peak of my success. I had the fame, I had the money, I even opened a flower shop. I had everything the world said success was. But guess what? I wasn't successful in my being. I would cry, I would hurt, I couldn't be alone. I'm gonna get emotional. I couldn't be alone because I was dealing with my own reality, and what the world was seeing was someone I was portraying myself to be, and I wasn't happy. So God led me to get away, because I couldn't get this awakening in San Antonio, because I was just distracting myself with all the worldly things, the people, social media, living in this person I thought I was meant to be. So he said, look, I'm going to bless you with this opportunity to learn how to design in Phoenix, Arizona. So I go to Phoenix, Arizona, and I had a choice. I had a check-in time, and I got there super early. And it literally, this is our free will in the world. I had a choice to drive to Vegas, which is the same distance as the Grand Canyon. So there's my free will. Gina, what are you going to choose, sin or salvation? You're going to choose Sin City, or are you going to choose your salvation, spiritual awakening? I was telling myself, I was like, man, I can go to Vegas any day. Let me go see the true beauty of the world. So I literally by myself get a rental. I drive to the Grand Canyon, 4 hours away. And I literally look over this beautiful creation of God. Like if you haven't experienced the Grand Canyon, go, and I'm telling you, like, you're going to be in awe of the Lord. So I get there, and at this time I said, I still haven't, I feel a calling, but I'm just like, nah, I'm not happy. So I go in, and I'm by myself, and I'm just hiking, and I'm taking in all the wonders. Like the squirrels are coming up to you because they're hungry. I'm jumping in the tourist of the people learning about the foundation of the canyon. Like I was alone, but I felt the most like people
Help.
around. Yeah, I felt like I was where I was supposed to be. I didn't feel alone. I felt like this is where I'm meant to be. Even if I was alone physically, there was so much love around me that I didn't feel that. So I
Mm-hmm.
get to the peak of the canyon, and I'm overlooking, and like you said, the two flies. I had two flies in the whole canyon, and they're flying around me. And I always told myself, when I get to the part where my high school sweetheart passed away, when he passed away, at times I'll have flies, and I always told myself, man, Yanni, like, leave me alone. I know you're right here. And this is just like a little spirit of yours that you use just to. So in that was symbolic for me when I got to the canyon. And the other one, I felt like it was Christ. Like, even though I wasn't a believer, like, this is a new feeling I haven't felt before. And something in me was like, let it out. Let it out. Whatever you've carried, whatever you've heard, like, let it out for the world. What the world has done for you, give it right back, and pray and say, like, you need help. Because I've been so prideful. I grew up in a military family. I grew up that tough soldier, daddy's girl. Like, no, like, you're good. You always gonna get up no matter what. Don't cry, pick your head up. So that's what I felt in the world. So that's how I treated my emotions. Like, no, I'm okay regardless if I'm not okay. I don't need to cry. I don't no, you know what? Get over it, toughen up. There's no emotion. So when I got there, the two flies come, and I said, man, I had the breakthrough. And I'm like, man, this is what the world's done to me. No matter how much success I have, I'm like, I'm not happy. So I let it out, and I just break, and I'm like, I'm praying, and I'm like, I don't understand why I'm not happy. Like, I have it all, but I didn't have peace. And that was what I was missing. And the only way we can get that true peace is through Christ. And he was calling, and I didn't understand what was going on. And I was like, man, it's time. It's time I just let go and let God. Literally what they say, let go and let God. Because what I've done for myself obviously isn't working for me. I let go, I let God. And walking back up the canyon was the most freeing I felt, like, in almost my entire life. Like, I'm like, man, I finally cried. I finally let go. But I needed this experience alone to do so, because my pride wouldn't let me do it where I was from home. So I have the awakening. I come home 1 month later. 1 month later, a prophet walks in my flower shop. And the first word he told me was, whoever has your heart has fulfilled their purpose. And like I said, my high school sweetheart was killed by a drunk driver. And he's always had my heart. And that void I felt that whole time ever since he passed, I thought it was him. I thought it was like, man, I'm never going to be happy again because I lost the love of my life. But that void in actuality was God. So when he said those words, whoever has your heart has fulfilled their purpose. And I feel like Yanni's purpose for my life was to find Christ. And as soon as he said that, I put my phone on record, because I'm like, this is a divine appointment. I don't know who you are or how you got here, but I know in my whole spirit, like, you were sent here. For an hour long on Mother's Day, one of the busiest times in the year in the flower shop, it was me and him. No matter what was going on around us, no matter the phone, the people coming in, whatever word he was giving me was for me. Because what I used to say as a non-believer, I'll believe it when I see it. I believe it when I see it. I kept saying it. Not what the world said. How am I going to believe in God when I don't see it? because you're not being open to it. He's all around you. He's showing you through the music, through your favorite animal, through the numbers, through everything that you love. He shows you. And when you fully commit, he will show you that it's been there all along. And he was showing me, I was remembering, and those words, I believe when I see it, he made it so plain. And I went to church yesterday, and he said, becoming who you are in Christ is like the people who are colorblind and put on those glasses for the first time, and they ask the people, is this how you've always seen? When we find Christ and walk into the word, we put on the eyes of the Lord. And it's like the people who are unsaved that get saved, they ask like, is this how y'all see? Like, is this the peace that y'all have had? And I've been in the world and I've been missing out on this the whole time. Like that hits so home, because that's literally what it's like. Like, finally being able to see the world for what it truly is and not what the people have made it to be. I had to believe, because it was so unbelievable what was happening around me, from the spiritual awakening in the Grand Canyon to the prophet walking in my shop and speaking a direct word about my life that I didn't even know who or where this guy came from. Like, how are you going to deny Christ when somebody, a stranger, which in actuality, no one is strangers on the world. We're all family because we're all brothers and sisters. So, and that's why you meet certain people and your souls connect right away, because you already know them. You already have a relationship with them before you even get to know them. Like, I can say that for me and you from the first time we spoke. Like, I saw you person, and it was like, man, you women are supposed to make the change, because the world can't see what y'all see yet. And eventually they will. And that's why they set you to bring out the power, the passion, and the purpose in people, because people, what the world said, oh yeah, my passion is, they don't really truly know the deep meaning of it. So he's using you to give the perspective to the people. And I thank you again for the opportunity, because we have to. That's the only way people are going to know and see, is by seeing, okay, people trust in Gina Grace. So man, when she has deep meaning to these words, man, like, I can relate. They relate because they're called to see through my eyes, because they're not able to see through their own yet. So that's what they're doing with you and each individual he's sending you, because that's why he's giving you that mission to pull out those 3 deep meanings in people. So thank you again. And back to my story. I'm sorry. He led me to do that.
Emotional. I'm like, ah.
Yes.
You're a direct channel that's happening with the divine. And you have said, yes, I want to listen and see like you. Show me the way and bring whoever I need to see to me, so that I could be of service to them, you know?
Amen.
And still, but so you've gotten so good about that. How do you self-care? You know, like, how do you put practices into place for yourself, being as busy as you are, to make sure that you feed yourself? And what does that look like for you?
All right. Okay. So self-love, my brand, First Love Yourself. It's so important, because in order to be aligned, like you said, and walk in that fullness of Christ, you have to love yourself. The world makes you not want to, because society standards and what they think beautiful is, it makes you want to compare, but comparison is a thief of joy. So whether you're comparing your beauty, comparing your strength, comparing your voice, we're not meant to compare, because we're meant to individually be unique. Loving yourself is so important. So usually, like, for me, making other people happy makes me happy. So if I'm home alone and I'm not making people happy, guess who's not happy? Me, because God has made it so strong on our heart to just want to love and share. So if I go a week without seeing him, oh my gosh, I'm like getting anxiety. Like, there's so many people that need me. You know what I mean? Like, so first of all, getting out in the world. So just getting out and loving and making people even smile. Even if I open the door for someone and then they just have a better day. Okay, that fills my heart. That's part of my self-love, that self-awareness. I know that makes me happy. What else I know that makes me happy is adrenaline. I love adrenaline. I'm like a fearless person. So like something that just gets me excited. You know, the other day I went to the carnival, and it sounds funny, and I rode a ride and I forgot that feeling of just like, let go, like, and enjoy, be that kid again, and just enjoy your true joy inside. And I'm like, man, this is something that I know makes me happy. So I have a Six Flags pass. Why have I been there once this year? You know what I mean? Like, So going back, okay, no, Gina, feed that adrenaline, like, because that what makes you fired up. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like the word that's coming to mind when you were describing it is exhilaration.
yeah,
And when
exhilarating.
we feel exhilarated, it's that childlike joy of just like, wow, like you're just like, and just having
Exactly.
so much fun and you're lost in it and
Literally.
you're swimming and just like
Yes.
that.
And at the end of the day, we still have that child in us, but I feel like people get so prideful, like where they're looking like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think I'm a child, or why am I acting like a kid? You're supposed to let go, like enjoy yourself, like don't worry about what people are saying. And then another self-love. So you make time for things that are important to you.
So you're making time for your passion.
Yeah, your passion, exactly, because those are all my passion things: making people happy, getting those exhilarating feelings. Like, it's such a deep passion within me. When I pull it out, I'm exhilarating. Yes, exactly. So making time, because what happens in the world, everyone is enabling everyone to allow excuses and allow, I can't do this, I can't do that. I own 2 businesses, and I have a brand that I'm spreading awareness. I make times for things that are important. I don't watch TV. Honestly, I don't watch the news. I don't keep up with the latest entertainment, because when actually those are distractions, because it's just another suppression of, okay, I don't want to deal with my own reality, so let me just focus on reality TV, which is not reality. It's clips through and edited, and you're just wasting time, which people do for about 5 to 6 hours a day, when you could in that time be healing. And it may be uncomfortable and hurt at the beginning of dealing with your own reality, but once you get past that, you're not even going to watch TV, because you're going to see the truth in TV. So I don't take time to do anything that's not feeding my soul, feeding me knowledge, feeding me, because that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me want to learn and grow. But the world is so construed. It's like, oh, let me listen to the newest thing. No, create the newest thing. Create life. Create love. Because I did a newscast the other day, and I spoke about love. I spoke about awareness. But guess what the news did? They edited me, and I needed to get that opportunity so I could see what the news was really about. They cut out all the love and awareness, but they tied in the clips of hate. And I'm like, man, I see the news for what it is now. Y'all are just trying to feed the world that doesn't understand there's more positivity. And that's another thing. You using that power, passion, and purpose, he's using you to pull that positivity and show the world like there's a lot more love than what y'all see. Just because it's not on TV, it's still really out here. So yes, feeding that, making the time to do so, and not, because I used to be a person of a people pleaser. So I would make everyone else happy but myself. But I said, you know what? Half of those people, when I need help, when I need love, guess who's there? Hardly anybody. So he had to show me in going through my own struggle, because after I got in the nightlife, girl, my whole life was changed. I had to re-identify myself, and you know what? Nobody was there for me during that time. Hardly anybody.
Yeah.
And it just showed me why are you pleasing all these people when nobody's there for you? So that's where I had to stop and say, no, it's time to first love myself before anyone else, or I'm never going to be happy. So that's where I take the time to the self-love.
And you mentioned something that was really powerful. When you are letting go and shedding skins, you're almost starting with like a blank slate of your persona, of your personality, of your identity, as you heal really what's considered the subconscious mind of all of these patterns and programmings and limitations and traumas and pain and all this addiction. Once you started to shed the old friends, how and when did the new people come into your support group? Like, what did that look like for you? How did you find your tribe? Actually, you don't even have to find them. Once you're living it, they sort of.
Yeah, exactly. It comes. So when I got out of the nightlife, like I said, that was my comfortability and who I was and what I knew. But my spirit was showing me the truth of the nightlife. Before, I didn't get to see it because I wasn't saved enough to have that Holy Spirit to even care about the people in there. So once that spirit shifted, it's like, man, like I see these people are just using the alcohol to suppress all their pain. Like I can't enable that anymore. Like, and that's because I was the biggest promoter. And what I was doing, I was enabling the pain and suffering instead of helping them save and grow and realize why they are drinking so much. So once that spirit shifted, I had my foot in, and it was like I was still I was pouring with myself, the shots and the grace. It was like, man, like, this is what I'm comfortable. This is what I know. I know, even because I've been 7 years sober, but even when I would go through struggle and pain, instead of drinking, I would try to go fill myself up with just, oh, hey, Gina, like that fame. That's what I would feed that part with. The
Attention.
fame.
Yeah.
Attention. Yes, exactly. So when I would go through the pain, I would go out, because I knew when I'd go out, it'd be a distraction, because everyone would be, oh, Gina shots, Gina shot. Oh my God, it's Gina shot. So that was suppressing my pain, because I would distract myself with the people. Mm-hmm. So I still had my footing over here. So once I had reconstruction surgery, and I did a video on this because I had 4. Okay. And I did it. It was covered medically, but in actuality, I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with my profile. I wasn't happy. And the 4th one is when God sat me down, because remember, I don't really stop. So he had to sit me down to recover and say, look at what you let the world do to you. And during that, girl, he put it on my heart while I have a cast on, while I'm bleeding out, to share, to go live and let the world know, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what what I've allowed y'all to do to me. And now guess what? I've had to go through all this pain so I can see and show y'all, this is the hurt, the pain, the struggle. And guess what? You know what? No matter how this nose, I said, no matter how my nose looks after this cast, whether it be big, small, crooked, broken, I said, I'm loving myself for who I am now. And it was a powerful shift, girl. And that's where I already had this brand 6 months before that surgery, but God wouldn't let me put it out because I wasn't living it. So once I shifted, he let me speak my truth and loving myself. And that's why I'm so confident in speaking on self, because now I genuinely do. I couldn't put the brand out because I was uncomfortable trying to tell people, hey, you need to love yourself, when I wasn't even loving mine. So when that happened, it shifted. He put in my heart, like, you got to come first before the people. And not only during that time, girl, he's like, you're keeping your foot in the industry, and it's not where your piece is, because you're seeing it. Step out, sacrifice, and just say, I'm done. That's it. Cut it, cut it, cut it. So months later, I'm going through it. I'm still struggling.
What year is this? What year is
this? Is 2019. So this is this past year. So I let go, and I make a post, because what God's done, when I declare something for social media, it's happening. So I said, hey guys, the opportunity was amazing. I appreciate all the relationships. I love y'all, but this is it. Everyone's like, wow, like they know that it's true. So I pull out. During that time, I'm still going through it in my flower shop. And that was in April. So I've been saved almost a year now. But like I said, I was still dealing with the world in my spirit. April, I'm going through my flower shop, and I'm like, man, this is it. Financially, I'm like, this is the broke I've ever been. Like, I'm still struggling. I'm like, man, I got to trust in you, God. What am I going to do? Like, I'm used to making thousands a week, and I went from that to this, and I'm like, still like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm freaking out. But that's the natural thing to do as a human. So finally, when I got out, I still go out occasionally, until finally I had gotten the opportunity, the blessing with Herbalife. And Herbalife has been misconstrued, because, like, just how there's good and bad in everything, there's good and bad coaches. Sure. And the bad coaches have made a bad name for it. So once I took the opportunity and said yes, because I know I love helping people, and I know this is my calling. So why I felt like this opportunity was made for me. I'm like, why haven't I known about this sooner? But I did know about it. It just wasn't the time to take it. So when I took it, God surrounded me with the positive light of who I am, the positive healing that the world needs. And it was like, there's that tribe, there's that want, there's that love you give to people is now giving you back, because these are the true people that you needed to support you and elevate you in me. So he brought me with that tribe. And then after that, girl, that's when I found my purpose. That's the purpose in it. My purpose was to help and heal others. And that's why he put this on my heart before I was even walking in my truth, because it was already destined for me to happen, for me to live in that. And it's to help others. And that's why, like I said, we connect so strongly, because I used to, before I found that opportunity and helping people, because Herbalife opened that door for me to finally see, like, this is your calling. And you're going to not just do it physically, because Herbalife is a physical thing. You're going to help them with their mind, their body, and their soul. because the reason why a lot of people are physically unfit is because they're dealing with the trauma. They're dealing with the generational curse. They're dealing with all that. So guess what? It all ties in together. So I'm not only going to show you their physical, Gina, you got to heal their mind and their soul and have them inevitably come to me so I can show them the strength in who I am and not what the world led them to be. And that's where the passion, the power, and my purpose came from when I started walking in who I'm called to be and my truth, my calling. And that's helping people. And at the end of the day, that's all our purpose on this world. We're called to help. We're called to love. We're called to share. And the world isn't doing it. The world is so hurt. The world is so broken. And that's why there's not much real power in the world.
Yeah.
People that wake up and have the power to be like, man, I'm waking up to know I'm going to change someone's life. People don't have the power in waking up because they have no purpose or passion to do any of those things. And until I got saved and found my tribe to show me my calling, I was living like the world. I had no passion, I had no power, and I had no purpose. I was waking up like not wanting to get up every day because I didn't have those things. I didn't wake up and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to change someone's life. No, I didn't see that worthiness in me because I had given myself to all the wrong people. I no longer felt like I had that power. And in turn, once I found my calling of helping just the right people who are ready, because everyone has the potential to change, but everyone, it's on their own time. And if I go to someone that's not willing and ready, they're holding back my power. They're holding back my passion because it's not their time yet. So the people who are running to me that are begging for the change, I can instill all my power. I can instill all my passion. I can instill everything to help them elevate. Because what we are, Janie, is spiritual guides. We're guiding the broken and people in the world to elevate them and who their passion, their power, and their purpose is. And that's why it's so powerful that we keep doing what we're doing, because the world needs people like us.
Hallelujah, for sure. Everything that you're talking about really is it. You were talking about, really stepping into your worthiness. It takes accountability and responsibility. The more divided you are within, there'll be a battle going on within. So you have to sort of fix that fight first. And then you'll notice you won't want to fight the world and you won't want to fight other people. You'll want to be healing and helping, instead of fighting. So I honor you greatly for sharing your story, your testimony, and really owning your beautiful divinity that has been bestowed upon all of us. It's our inheritance to say yes to the sacred side of self and bring that higher knowledge and understanding and mercy and patience and peace and all this stuff that Jesus was talking about and delivered upon ourselves. And then step into our grace like Gina Grace. Gina went from Gina Shots to Gina Grace.
Yes.
Her transformation, obviously, you heard her story. It's so powerful.
And the amazing part in it is like, he wanted to show the world that person. So, because when he saved me, girl, guess who all the people are watching? All the people, girl. And people see the truth in it because they know who Miss Shots used to be. They know I was the biggest sinner. They know I used to want to out-sin everyone because I was good at it. Until he was like, you're not happy doing that. You're trying to live for the people. Let me grab your spirit up and show you who you really are. Yeah. And when I did that, I found my passion, my purpose. I found everything I needed to be. And now all those people who knew who I was, they're wanting that same grace that they see on my life. And that same grace is from Christ, but it takes the accountability, because what people do naturally, because it's the easy way, blame their kids. Oh, I can't do this, this, and that. But not only blame their kids, blame everyone else, and especially blame God. Because why? They can't look in the mirror and say, man, I need to get it together. Man, God has saved me all along, because I should have been dead in jail a long time ago. Even as a child, I tried to commit suicide at 12. But you know what? He used all those mess and tests just to show even the adolescent now. Girl, I can speak to adolescents so powerfully and passionately now because I've lived that. I want to help not just the people in the nightlife, but the world, inevitably, from the adolescents to the elders. Like, everybody needs love. And all the way we can truly walk in love is passion, purpose, and power. That's how we have to.
Yes, because anything less than that, we're selling our own selves short. And funny enough, it actually impacts our health. So our health is our wealth. And when you understand how to light yourself up from the inside out, you become a well of water.
Yes, amen, amen.
Mhm. So,
Yes,
thank you again for your
no
time
problem.
with us, Gina. Please let people know how they can connect with you and tell them about where they can find more information about your brand, F.L.Y. First Love Yourself.
Awesome. Okay, for social media on Instagram, I go by Gina Grace _Gina_Grace_. Facebook, I do go under Gina Grace as well. My F.L.Y brand, the merchandise and everything to hear more is actually at my flower shop, and that's in the medical center in San Antonio. The address is 1635 Babcock. It's called the Floral Basket. Very easy to reach, 410 and I-10, and in there you won't only find me, but you'll find my partner Helen, and she's like the true love and joy when you come in, just welcoming. So it's just a nice place to even visit if you're having a bad day. You'll have a rose on me.
That's
So yes, I just want to say thank you for having me. I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, because the people need you. And I know it could get heavy, it could get hard, and just walking knowing that you're doing your calling, you're walking in purpose, you're walking in power, and you have your passion to do it. So I encourage you to please keep doing, because I know this isn't just the first of what we have together in store, because we're going to make the bigger impact for the people. This is just preparing us for what's to come, both of us. So thank you again, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning in to Rise Above TV, where we are empowering humanity and supporting unity. Your likes, shares, and follows are greatly appreciated because they help spread the love. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of P3, when Sarah Hernandez, the founder of Bonita Brides and Wapo Grooms, tells us what power, passion, and purpose mean to her. Till next time, peace be in us.